また永久だ。これは
3人目の S 級。一度の召喚で1人いるかどうかですのに。
Yo, it's your man MAS, back with the finale of Failure Frame. Yes, I finished the entire season 1, and we are talking about, is this a must watch? All right, Failure Frame, should you watch? All right, it's too many things saturated in this anime market. I feel like Crunchyroll is pumping out a new anime every single day. All right, anime is as popular as ever before. So I mean, you need like an informed judgment, right? Am I the judge to grade what's good and what's not good? Maybe, maybe not. But I've watched enough anime from the 90s till now, almost every single day, but I watched enough to give a fair judgment. All right, so get right into it. Failure Frame in regards to the sea of isekais. Is Failure Frame worth watching? My voice is cracking there. That's how good it is. Yes, right? The answer is yes. So that's the video. Now, I mean, I'm going to go into detail, right? I will go into detail, but for me, I kind of like simple answers. So the answer is yes. Failure Frame is worth watching in the pool called isekais. That is a disgusting genre. Can't say isekais, but Failure Frame is one of the good ones to watch in the sea full of trash isekais. All right. And then here's the thing, right? Not every anime needs to be the best, right? To me, there are the best, right? Reincarnated like a slime, ReZero. There are isekais that are just they're the best of the best. Same thing with shonen, same thing with other genres, but there are the best of the best. But all because you're not the best doesn't mean that you have to be the worst, right? So Failure Frame is for sure worth watching. It's, to go into detail, it reminds me of a more grittier Shield Hero, right? So if you watch Shield Hero, that's another isekai. If you never watched isekai, I mean, why start now? Like, if I had to compare this anime to something that's not an isekai, basically like a more darker underdog type of anime. Because you know there are anime like By Hero and stuff like that, where it's like it's the underdog, but it's more like PG-13. Failure Frame is not quite PG-13. It's a little bit more mature, all right? Not crazy mature, where it's like it's blood and gushing and all. It's not like that, but it's definitely mature enough where it's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's not like that anime kiddish kind of feel. Like, my man Tuka's clearly out for revenge, and the way they do some of the scenes with some of the female characters, it's clearly not, you know. I'll leave it like that. I don't know, something with otakus and like elves, and like just elves with big boobs. Like me, I'm not a boob guy. I'm an ass man, but I feel like it's something about elves and boobs that people go crazy for. I don't get it. I mean, I get it, but it's just like, whatever, right? But Failure Frame, again, it's pretty much your typical underdog story. And the closest comparison is what? Again, Shield Hero. Everybody's crappy. All the supposed heroes are teleported to this unknown world, and they're all given ranks. It's like, oh well, you got this ability, you get this sword, you get this weapon, and then the main character is, of course, the odd man out. All right, how many of us has felt like the odd man out? I know I have, right? So he's the odd man out, and he has to prove himself through this crappy ability to show the world that he can do it. All right, but yeah, and it's a mix between Shield Hero and then I would argue maybe what's that? Solo leveling, like a mix of like constantly leveling up and having to prove himself. The only difference is that compared to those animes, his abilities aren't as flashy. They're very straightforward and very much OP, but they're not as flashy as a, would say, Shield Hero or a, Sun from Solo Level. Like they're not as flashy. I think it evolves over time. So if you watch the anime, he incorporates different things to make his ability a little bit more flashy, aka the slime that he has, and then I guess the more he kills, the more like his skills kind of expand more. But all because his skills expand doesn't make it sexy. All right, like let's just be 1,000. His ability isn't sexy. It's not like horrible, but it's like he literally just says paralyzed, poison, and cleans up, right? I mean that's the show. That's the show. But I like simplicity, so I think it's worth watching. It's a simplistic ability and it gets the job done. All right, it doesn't go like take you through hoops. It doesn't rack your brain. It's not too much of that kitty jumbo mumbo nonsense. Like it's the right kind of mature for all my decent to hardcore anime fans that want like a good content story. It's mature enough for that. Has simple enough abilities where it's like, okay, there's limitations and you can see what he can and can't do. And there's enough like trials and tribulations where it's like, it kind of gets you invested. The only negative I will say on the show in terms of if it's worth watching is like, if you're expecting to watch this and be blown away of like, hey, like this show changes the isekai genre or this show definitely stands out in the isekai genre, no, it doesn't. It really is your typical overpowered character, all right? It really is that, but it does it really well. I don't think it changes the genre, but it does it really well. So I would say, because it really is worth watching, it is worth the investment. But I can compare it to this. You know how like you watch a show and you watch a really good show and it's like, man, like I'm never gonna get something like this again, or I would die for a show like that again, right? I feel the same way about certain like CW shows that were really good. I don't like a lot of them, but certain like number of CW shows, it's like, man, that was show like so good. I would kill for another show like that. I feel like Failure Frame kind of fills that void for you, meaning if you watched a prior anime about overpowered character and it was really, really good, and you're like, man, I will kill for something like this. Like you don't have to reinvent the wheel, just give me the viewer that feeling again. Failure Frame does that. It does that to satisfaction. All right, clearly there's going to be a season 2, there's more content, but Failure Frame essentially fills a void in an already popular like genre of like overpowered characters. So if you like the kind of show, Failure Frame will quench that thirst, right? But if you're expecting something new and revigorating and just out the box, no. Same stuff, same secret sauce. Not even the secret sauce anymore. It's not secret, you know. It's not like Krabby Patty. Like everybody knows what's in the Krabby Patty at this point. I think Wendy's had a commercial for the new Krabby Patty, but I diverge, right? It's the same stuff, right? But all because it's the same stuff does not mean it's a bad show. So yes, Failure Frame is very much worth the watch. If I had to grade it out of 10, I would say I would rate it pretty high, if I have to be honest. I'll probably rate it like an 8 out of 10. But it's probably the most generic 8 out of 10 I've ever given. I mean, like, when you watch the show, it really does enough to get you hooked. Meaning, like, you want to keep watching. You want to keep watching. There's some shows that are, like, overpowered characters, but, like, I feel like the first 1 or 2 episodes, like, it's just not that... Like, you know what's coming, but, like, it's not engaged. It doesn't make me want to watch. I think the thing about Failure Frame that makes it stand out compared to other isekais of the same exact ilk and ability and stuff like that is, like... I feel like the more mature tone to it. Even like Shield Hero, Rising of the Shield Hero, right? It was mature, but like, nah. Like you can tell in Failure Frame when he's talking about his real life and the abuse he took when he was a child by his real parents and how his aunt saved him. Like you could tell, like it's a certain sense of maturity that I was like, oh, I won't say I can relate to that, but like, yeah, this isn't that nice whole I've always lived a great life. And it's not even like a whole I'm a loser either. Like it's very realistic, and I think that's what kind of captures you in terms of even him wanting revenge and the really cool comparisons and similarities of like, oh, this person reminds me of my aunt, oh, he reminds me of my uncle, I want to do better. Like it's that kind of show. And I think that's one of the core elements that makes it different from the other isekais. if I had to pinpoint something that makes it different, that hooks you. So Fire Frame, it's mad generic, so don't get it twisted. It is generic as hell, but it's a solid 8 out of 10 generic. It gets the job done, right? But that's Fire Frame as a whole. When season 2 comes out, I'll definitely watch to see if anything more progresses. But again, if you like the content, please like, comment, and subscribe. It's your man MAS. Please check out my comic, Citizen Evil. If you like my commentary, check out my comic, check out my anime. All right, we pushing out here, but I'm out.